Canada's Air Force, Navy and Army are getting a facelift tomorrow, in name only. And two branches of the Canadian Forces are expected to get the royal treatment. Tom Murphy explains.
Officially, it's called the Canadian Forces Maritime Command, but even sailors call it the Navy. So what's in a name, you ask? Well, a lot of aggravation for some.
It should be the Royal Canadian Navy, I'm convinced of that.
And now Canada's Defence Minister Peter MacKay is expected to make it so at an announcement in Halifax tomorrow. Back in 1968, the Defence Minister of the day, Paul Hellyer, unified the Canadian Army, the Royal Canadian Navy and the Royal Canadian Air Force.
The creation of a single force.
Some called it an affront to this country's greatest military achievements. Those in service began wearing the same uniforms, shared the same ranks, which annoyed this then naval captain and many others.
It became rather ridiculous around the world. You know, everybody in the world they don't use army ranks.
It all soon began to unravel, and before long, the ranks reverted, the uniforms differed. But the titles did not reappear, and now that's about to change. Once again, the Navy will be called the Royal Canadian Navy, and the Air Force, the Royal Canadian Air Force. The Army will be known as the Canadian Army, and that's just fine with many.
Should the veterans wish to have it that way, I have absolutely no problem with that.
The move is aimed at restoring a part of our military heritage. Proponents argue that, after all, it was these services that helped win the Second World War.
RCN, it had a nice traditional ring to it and a tie to Her Majesty and so on.
It's high time, they say, to put a little royal back in the military. Tom Murphy, CBC News, Halifax.